When people map out their long-term financial strategies, they usually picture a fortune so massive that their descendants live unencumbered, freed from the necessity of labor. Historical balance sheets tell a different story. 70% of wealthy families lose their capital by the second generation, and 90% by the third. This holds across every sector: real estate, industry, or tech. Capital flatlines at the exact same threshold. An estate behaves like a fragile machine that programmatically degrades the moment active friction stops. Most old money lineages start inside severe environmental scarcity and profound financial instability. The forensic audit of these families reveals the same starting parameters: counting coins and enduring a baseline physical struggle. Existing in this volatile environment changes the math of survival. When you have witnessed what absolute powerlessness looks like, playing it safe carries a higher risk penalty than aggressive capital deployment. This financial trauma triggers loss aversion bias. The acute memory of early deprivation transforms into an aggressive operational fuel. Foundational builders treat capital as a defensive wall, constructed to isolate the family perimeter from macroeconomic chaos. This explains the stern, unyielding persistence of founders like John D. Rockefeller. Long after his corporate engines generated millions, he anchored his liquid cash directly into high-appreciating assets to insulate the family windfall across 7 generations. First-generation wealth is an armor forged in survival. The builder internalizes a respect for the structural cost of every dollar that makes the fortune resilient against early mismanagement. The asset engine experiences a psychological shock the moment capital transitions to the heirs. While the founder operated through sacrifice and hard operational limits, the second generation grows up inside absolute abundance. This transition introduces the problem of inherited security. Growing up with normalized wealth distorts the heir's perspective, making the estate look like a self-replenishing resource rather than a machine that requires continuous optimization. The transition erodes the high-income capabilities that manufactured the fortune: raw grit, complex risk management, and systemic delayed gratification. Without the anchoring memory of scarcity, heirs often succumb to systemic overconfidence. They assume the portfolio will fund an escalated lifestyle indefinitely, regardless of their own personal output. Absolute financial security erases the raw urgency required to maintain the estate. By the third generation, the structural foundation enters its most critical phase. The founding ancestors are gone, and the immediate connection to the wealth creation story is severed. This triggers estate fragmentation. As heirs multiply, the core estate divides into inefficient corporate tranches. These fragmented nodes rapidly shrink to zero as heirs commit fatal errors, liquidating investments for consumption and entering legal battles that destroy the family unit. The Vanderbilt collapse provides historical proof of this cycle. Cornelius Vanderbilt constructed the most dominant shipping and railroad empire in 19th century America. His heirs abandoned industrial utility for lifestyle consumption, prioritizing lavish estate building and unchecked spending with zero institutional oversight. At their 1973 family reunion, not a single Vanderbilt descendant was a millionaire. Static cash without continuous active optimization systematically decays, dropping the entire lineage right back to the working-class baseline. Elite dynastic families bypass this curse by abandoning traditional retail inheritance models. They institutionalize the family wealth. The 300-year management plan establishes a private family office and a family constitution to govern long-term targets. They install closed-loop trust networks that strictly limit an heir's access to principal capital. Distributions are triggered by verified, results-oriented milestones, like launching a business or matching career income. Successes like the Rockefellers treat their heirs as professional stewards. They hire managers to run the core operations, while training the family to protect the legacy across macro cycles. Smart families operate their entire fortune like an active corporation, ensuring capital is deployed rather than simply drained. A family fortune requires a taut system of financial literacy and risk management to survive the transition of power. If you fail to pass down these capabilities alongside your capital, you are guiding your lineage toward entitlement. You can remain a defensive consumer whose work will be liquidated, Or you can begin engineering a sophisticated institutional framework today. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to continue mastering generational asset preservation. If you are ready to build like a financial architect, type the word #steward in the comments to lock in your position on the grid. We read and reply to our squad personally. Lock in your strategy, protect your systems, and keep breeding wealth.